Today's guest, come on in! It's
Andy Warhol?
Mary Berry from the Great British Bake Off!
Oh.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. I'm
don't
from
have to
America.
raise your voice. You don't have to
Oh.
raise- The thing is, I have over 150 years experience baking cookies, cakes, and otherwise.
Did you say 150 years?
That being said, if
you a
I
vampire?
find that you have a soggy bottom, I will point it out. The only thing that arouses me
God.
is baking. I have always said that the key to a woman's heart is through pastry.
So when you're judging
That's
these
true.
pastries,
Yes, I like to put them in my mouth and
that's
swirl
a
it around.
sexual thing.
It could be. With a good pastry, it should be.
Tell me,
All right.
I mean, not just sexual for me, it should be sexual for everyone at home watching.
Is that what you think your show is?
Absolutely. It was, in its time, the most sexual show on television.
So this will go into that hole, spread out a bit more. Perfect nuts. I can hardly keep my hands off them. It's got to be stiff.
Speaking of Stifler, I think this one gets a Stifler anytime he sees me nibble on a biscuit. And remember, you always want to combine your dries, because when it gets wet, it gets very wet, Patrick.
Patrick,
Don't
very
worry.
wet. Listen to her.
Yeah, I hear you.
Patrick, just close
Yeah.
your eyes for a moment.
All right, yeah.
I want you to picture a delicious biscuit. Now imagine taking that biscuit, dipping it into the tea, okay? Taking it to your mouth and shoving it into a vagina.
What?
Do you feel how that could be sexual?
No, where did that come from? That's a huge
The
leap.
process, but think of the process. If you're asking how I, Mary Berry, masturbate.
Yes, I am asking that.
Or not.
It's by doing what you're seeing right here. Here,
Oh.
working in the kitchen. Opening the fridge, taking a bowl, measuring out some flour, mixing it together, kneading the dough, letting the dough rise. Maybe I've made a meringue off to the side,
Ooh,
and
that's
then
a
I have a
difficult-
9-inch dildo and I shove it in my butt.
No, why? Is that
It's a
I didn't see
simple
that coming.
process of baking.
I've done overnights in a bakery before, actually.
Really?
Oh, I've done
During the
several as well.
holidays. I don't want to hear about those.
Mary Berry, what's this?
You're too young to know what that
I want
is.
to know what it is. I
I'll
want to
tell
know
you after.
in graphic detail.
I'll tell you after. It's pretty simple. Basically, when you're making the
No.
dough, you'll put in your flour. The hook will basically grab it and churn it, because you can't just beat it. It's not gonna work, and then you gotta churn it around. And if you ride it, it gives you orgasms.
I was
fuck's sake.
waiting for it.
That's what it's for.
Okay, so
Mary, can I
gonna
ask
pour it on the
let me ask you
floor.
something? What's your dream sponsor?
Trojan condoms.
For fuck's sake. How old
Son
are
of a
you? You
bitch.
can't have a kid anymore.
Well, first of all, I find that to be offensive.
Yeah. what the
Baking is
It's
my
not-
child.
come on.
Baking is my child.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just like a stiff hard cock in my pussy. So it's not always about making children, just as baking isn't always about baking cake. Sometimes it's the process that makes you feel the best. Sometimes it's the process that makes you feel the best. And sometimes I just like a stiff hard cock in my pussy.